And so now you've got all of this debt floating around. There's all this liquidity post even 2021, right? So 2020, 2021, we saw the markets rise. We saw everything go up. And now bringing it back home, we saw a lot of investment come into Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Because there was so much money out there that they're like, you know what, let's go to this market and test it out. The minute the boat got rocked, all of that investment dried up.
Absolutely.
Right? So what I'm trying to
understand... It's literally like how do I put it? It's like if you imagine a spider's web.
Right.
And the central bank that is at the center.
Right.
Not just Pakistan, it's like global reserve currency.
Right.
And basically when you raise rates, you're sucking all the dollars and liquidity out of the system in the world. And that basically then shuts think payable and receivables and the whole cycle like from across the world, right? And then remember, the world wasn't as much onto debt as it is today. It was not that common for people to just take on debt in the 60s, 50s, 70s. Today, it's a foregone conclusion. People don't even think about buying a house without debt. That was not the case if you went back maybe 40 years ago. This is more of an 80s phenomenon. Credit cards came around in the 80s. Yeah. Right. So it's people take it for granted that borrowing is just normal.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I'm not completely going against that. Personally, don't borrow. But for business, you do need credit. In different formats, right? So it's not all bad. But
so then if credit is good and there's all this money, what happened to the startup scene in Pakistan? Because I can understand money drying up makes it harder to invest, obviously. But there's also some fundamental challenges that even when there is less money, look, when there's less money, you will still save and put money away somewhere, right? You might put this much money away because you have less of it. But what do? You fly to safety.
Yes.
Right? And
that's why everybody's dollar.
Exactly.
Perceived safety. I call it
perceived safety, right? For some reason, this market of 250 plus million people, right, could be one of the largest consumer markets in the world. For some reason, it is unable to bring liquidity when things are tough.
Yep.
So that means this is not a safe market. It is a frontier market for that reason.
We keep going in and out. So sometimes we'll go to EM, emerging market, and
then we come back to it. So what is the fundamental problem for that, and how do you get out of it?
So look, that component comes down to, it'll go down to your politics is just an outcome of the general population, right? So when you look at Pakistan in general, one of the first things I noticed when I moved back is you're always starry-eyed when you're living abroad and you coming back to Pakistan. And as an adult, I realized that we're a very divided nation across biradris and tribes and interests that are not necessarily national interests,
right?
But they end up being like institutional or individual or family or clan interests,
right?
So I think that division nobody else can fix apart from us, right? I mean, it's not as if countries come and go, and so do nations, right?
Right.
So that's something I think we have to look inward. And one of the things people have to do in Pakistan is stop relying on looking for some sort of a savior, and everybody can start on their own and start having a larger impact on the society, right? But I mean, generally, I don't like to talk about religion, but even religion is a very simple message. It's like, make sure take care of your neighbor, family, people around you.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just going back to the ethos. But, that structural issue exists because of that. We're just a divided nation and we can't come to consensus for what direction we want to take.